Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am super excited to be part of a Nook Design Sweet Treats blog hop. This is their 7th annual Sweet Treats blog hop. It's perfect for Valentine's Day and there's lots of inspiration with sweets and some fun packaging, and I encourage you guys to visit. There is a giveaway to go with this this hop. I'll leave the Nook Design Shop blog down below if you want to start at the beginning, and I hope you join this. For my project today, we're going to create a pocket, a cookie pocket. So to do that, I'm using a stamp set called Lovely Blooms. This is such a fun stamp set that has customizable sentiments. I think it'd be perfect for Mother's Day. There's a mason jar in there, and then there's sentiments in here for mother, sister, grandmother, daughter, and so I thought it'd be perfect to make some little cookie bags for cookie, not really bags, I would say cookie packaging for some family members. So I have some cardstock. I have red, a light pink, and then a darker pink, and we are going to do some heat embossing. So I treated each of these papers with my anti-static powder tool, and now we're stamping the rose floral in the stamp set twice on each one of these cardstock with VersaFine on it. VersaFine, nope, not VersaFine, I always get it mixed up, Versamark ink. And so I think this little kitty cat likes my bright colors that I'm using today. She's been walking across my desk all day long. I'm going to add my white embossing powder, but before we melt it, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my leaves. We'll ink those up with Versamark ink. Stamp those a few times. I'm going to use 2 for each of my pockets, and we're going to actually create 3 today, so I'm doubling up. Once everything is melted, we're going to line everything up and take the coordinating dies and die cut out our leaves and our flowers. And there is a coordinating die set. Everything that I use today will be listed below if you guys are interested and want to check it out. But leaves are easy to line up. And as I did this, before I started die cutting, I thought, let's bring in a darker green cardstock and stamp the leafy flourish in this set on some darker green cardstock. So we'll do the same thing. Treat our paper, ink up our stamp with Versamark ink, and then heat emboss it with white embossing powder. This leaf flourish has like 5 leaves on a stem, and I think it'll just add an extra detail to when we decorate our little cookie pocket. Once everything is die cut, I have 3 panels that measure 6 by 6 inches. These are what we're going to use to create our pockets. I thought we would decorate these with some hearts at the very top. We're not going to be able to close our pocket, so the top part of our pocket is going to remain open, and I wanted a little bit of Valentine detail. So I'm bringing in the Tumbling Heart Stencil, and we are going to add some hearts to the very top of just one of the corners here. I'm using my Distress ink. This is Picket Fence. What it's going to do is just add a little bit of a faded heart detail. This stencil is really nice because the hearts are gradient, so it starts off really small and they gradually get bigger and bigger. And I think it's perfect for that corner. I love the way that looks. I'll take the darker pink and do the same thing to that. Just line up our stencil. I had already sprayed some pixie spray behind the stencil. It looks like I need to wipe it off and redo it because it's not as sticky as I want it. But easy to do, just taking my picket fence and going over my little hearts and adding a very faint little heart background. I didn't want it to be too bold, but I did want some hearts on my project, so I thought that would work out perfectly. Now the pale pink cardstock, I'm afraid that the picket fence is not going to show up at all. So what we're going to do is bring in a picked raspberry and very lightly go over our stencil with a picked raspberry, just so again it's very faint in our background. And I think that looks fabulous. Now we're just doing one corner. The other corners are going to be folded in, so we don't need to do those. Now we're going to bring in our scoreboard to create our pocket. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. Since our panels are 6 by 6, you are going to take each of the corners, and I like to start at the top corner, line it up at the 4 1/4 inch mark, and then just turn the left side of my panel so it's at the 4 1/4 inch mark. So the top and the left side corners are at the 4¼ inch mark. You're scoring at 2 inches. Very easy to do. You're just going to keep turning it. You're going to turn it on the left, the right, and the bottom. Again, that top area where we did the stenciling, you don't need to score on that side, but just score at 2 inch mark. And we are good to go. Now, my pockets are not going to be closed. There's going to be a peekaboo window in it, but if you want to create a pocket that is fully enclosed, instead of scoring at the 2 inch mark here, you would scoot it over and maybe score at the 2¼ or 2½ inch mark, and then your envelope would actually close. But we want a peekaboo so you can see the cookie all around, and I think the 2 inch mark is perfect for that. So we did the left, right, and bottom, and we'll do the same thing to our last. Once they're all scored, we just take the other end of our scoring tool, fold in each one of the flaps, and reinforce those score lines so they stay semi-closed. And you can see the gap that I created. Again, if you were to close the envelope, you would score at a wider mark. Instead of the 2 inch mark, you would go wider. We'll do the same thing to our light pink. And then our last but not least, our pretty red color cardstock. Okay, now we need a label to put on top of these envelopes to doctor them up. So we're going to bring in our circle framed dies here. Taking the small scalloped and the stitch circle here. The scalloped, I'm using the same colored cardstock we used for the envelopes and die cut each one of those out. And then with the white cardstock, I'll die cut out some circles with a stitch circle. I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive behind the white circle and add them on the inside of our scalloped. And both the scalloped and these circles have stitch detail, so it looks so pretty. We'll add our last one. Now we're going to flip over each one of our flowers. I am going to go ahead and grab my sentiments. This stamp set is nice. Like I said, it is basically from, I would say, more Mother's Day. But there's sentiments in here. There's mother, friend, daughter, sister. I'm going to take friend, daughter, and sister. And then there's a little secondary sentiment that says for my. So you can customize these little tags. Actually, they're not tags. I would say labels. We're going to add foam adhesive behind each one of our flowers. And I'm putting the opposite colors on each one of these little labels. So my darker pink will have the light pink and red. My light pink label will have the red and the darker pink, and then my red label will have the light pink and dark pink. Just so there's still that trio of colors. And then of course you're going to have both the leaves and then the darker green leaf flourish that we created. Popping up the leaves and the flowers with foam adhesive. I'm just adding one so I can kind of tuck them together, and they are good to go. I think they look so dainty and pretty. Now we're stamping our sentiment. I'm using my black ink for that. We're going to start off by stamping our second sentiment first. So friend, daughter, and sister here. And this way I know where to put them on my panel. And then we're going to take our first part of the sentiment. It says for my, and stamp that just above each one of our scripty sentiments here. And I love that the for my is block, and then the friend, daughter, sister, grandmother are all scripty, real pretty script too. Now to adhere our labels to our pockets, so easy guys, my goodness. You would just add foam squares to each one of the folded in corners. They fit perfectly in those corners. You remove the release paper, and then you just add your label right on top. And again, I have the opening because I want you to be able to see the cookie down there. But so cute. And these are just for neighbors or friends. I think that would be really nice. But if you have kids that are having Valentine's Day parties, I know my kids are in school, but they're older. But if you have kids that are having Valentine's Day party, these would make cute little classroom valentines. I know Newton's Nook Designs has a real cute truck stamp set that would be perfect for these little pockets and cookies. But just remove our last release paper here and then add our last label. Add that, and I love it. There's a room in there for a cookie too. I'm bringing my cookies. I didn't bake them. I actually cheated and bought them, and I do like to put my cookies in a cello bag. I have these on hand because I make a lot of treats, but if you guys have your card packaging cello bags, you could use those, or even saran wrap for your cookies. You just tuck them in there. You can see the cookies peeking out in the very bottom, and you have some cute little cookie pockets for Valentine's Day. So that's my project. I hope you guys get a chance to visit the Newton's Nook Designs blog for a sweet treats festival. There's lots of goodies over there. You're gonna definitely have a sweet tooth if you visit, and there is a giveaway too, guys, if you want to check it out. Have a great day. We will see you again real soon. Bye bye.